Hi, and welcome to Spiritual Alchemy Energy, the podcast with Julie. I'm your host, Julie, and tonight I have Sharon Gulley with us. This is part two because I did another podcast earlier today at 11 a.m., which was unusual. I don't do two podcasts in a day. I did that to accommodate Christian coming on. He's in Switzerland. So tonight I have the beautiful Sharon with us, and we'll be talking. We're going to get to know her, and she's going to tell us all about this new poetry, the beauty of poetry. Is that correct?
Yes.
The anthology. Mm-hmm. So welcome, Sharon.
Well, thank you, Julie, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
So I want to get to know you a little bit better. You do a lot of different things. Your bio's like 6 pages long. You're into spiritual healing, correct?
Yes.
And what type of spiritual healing do you do?
Well, I'm a transformational life coach. I am a ANULP certified life coach, ULC ordained minister. Mm-hmm. I work with transformational healing, energy healing, hands of light healing, faith healing. So a little bit of everything.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more of the hands of light healing? Did you go to Barbara Brennan's school?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. That's where, well, I am Southern raised. So the first time I ever seen hands-on healing was in church as a child. Mm-hmm. And you know how pastors put their hands on people and they pray for them. And I had seen many different healings take place, and it stayed with me as a child. And as I got older, I began to look a little bit deeper into what was going on. And I was lucky enough to run across Miss Barbara Brennan's school in New York. And I began to read about her and how she had developed a holistic healing modality based on human energy and the consciousness system, mm-hmm. And its relationship to health and disease. It is one of the most comprehensive, I believe, approaches to energy healing and human transformation that I've ever seen before. She's absolutely spectacular. I know she started her school in 1982. She had founded it. And I have just realized this year that she has now got one in the state of Florida where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So I have been deeply considering adding to the education that I have achieved by going to her college and picking up a 4-year degree with her.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really excited about that. Oh. I truly believe that we're all born with gifts. We just have to know how to reach them and bring them out of us, mm-hmm. and be able to use them. And I just feel that's one of the gifts that has been given to me because I love people. Right. This COVID has killed me because I'm a hugger. And when I can't reach out and hug, I feel scolded. I can actually reach out sometimes and touch people and feel what's going on with them, mm-hmm. spiritually, physically, and know what prayer that needs to be administered when allowed. Mm-hmm. And holistically, the different things that can help in that situation.
Right. I love spiritual healing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. So. And another thing you didn't even mention, you do your own podcast and you have a magazine. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
Well, yes. Like I said before, I'm a little bit of everything. I do editing work, creative writing, ghost writing. Podcasting is a new thing that I've started because it allowed me to be able to reach out and connect to all the beautiful people that I love and give me a chance to spend time with them and spotlight them out into the world and all of the beautiful things that they do. The magazine also gives me that opportunity because I love children's authors. I love recipes. I love speaking about the Lord. I love speaking about healing. So why not a magazine too? So I stepped out and with the encouragement of Teresa Halley Howard, and I took that battle on this year as well. And I'm so happy that I did, because it's been a pleasurable journey.
So what's the name of the podcast and what's the name of the magazine?
Be of, it stands for Beautiful Expectations of Faith.
Okay.
So it's Be of Podcast. You can find it on anchor.fm or on spotify.com. And Be of Magazine can be found at isuzu.com. If I said that right, I have such a hard time saying that.
Okay. Wow, you're a very busy lady.
Yes. Well, we Sagittarians tend to take on a whole bunch at one time. So we love having many projects and staying busy. So, yeah.
I'm feeling a little Sagittarian. It's like, don't put any more on your plate, man. Just no. It's my
Amen.
So I know you really, really want to spotlight these ladies.
Yes.
Let me bring this up here. So the book is called The Beauty of Poetry and Prose.
Yes.
You have a screen here, so people, and you can get this on Amazon. Just came out, but in the last 3 weeks here.
It's about a week. About a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. Yes, we're newly out. I believe Kendall right now is still up for $1 in ebook. The ebook Kindle is still up for $1. I know they'll be releasing it January the 22nd. The book is already live, and you can get your copy from my author page or reach out to any one of these amazing co-authors and get your copy from them. It's always such a pleasure, and it's always so nice to reach out and like, share, subscribe, leave a review for these beautiful authors, because they give all of their heart and soul in what they do.
Okay, so I spy Laverne Denier.
Yes, Miss Laverne is in this anthology as well, which is a great surprise. This is a first time meeting for Miss Ladinier and I was so impressed with her just beauty.
So can you tell us more? This is a book about poetry, with the intention behind the book.
Well, each one of these ladies are healers in their own way. And I wanted to be able to bring their healing aspect and beauty to their love of poetry as well, and combine it so that not only do we get to celebrate poetry, because we all love poetry, we get to celebrate it together, but at the same time be able to share that healing message with the world that we all work forward and do every single day of our lives. And it just brought it all to one common, beautiful right.
And you worked with Karen Taints, who, by the way, was my editor for my book, Master in the Making. She's wonderful to work with. Did she write a piece for this book as well?
Yes, she did. Yes, I have Miss Gail Alexandria of Gail's mandalas, energy mandalas.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think of her, and now I kind of want to just hit on each one of these ladies and give you another reason why I brought them in to the book. Okay. Miss Gail, for me, of Gail Alexandria Energy Mandalas, she creates some of the most beautifulest mandalas I've ever laid eyes on. She brings color and higher learning to me. So she is one of the people in my life, the colorful people in my life that help me go through my daily life. Miss Jody Doty. Not only is she a children's book author, but she's a magnificent poet that shares spirituality and personal light and just worthiness and the desire to self-love yourself in this world. So for me, she's the spiritual and personal guru for me. Miss Rachel Polskin. Miss Rachel Polskin is my dreamer. She's a young 31-year-old girl who stepped out and started her coffee truck, and things went crazy and went amok and nothing went right. And she had to start all the way over again. But with courage and determination, if she didn't turn that around, I'm not sitting here. So for her, she's my dreamer. And I just love Miss Rachel. You can find her at Feel Good Coffee House on Instagram. Madeline DeGilio, my beautiful sister. She reminds me to use my gifts, to stay strong, and continue to do what I love most. Miss Laverne Denier, in a short period of time I met her, she is the teacher side of me. She brought that inspiration back to my heart and my soul. And I love her for that. I truly do. And her grace and just reassuring me that being a seeker is an awesome thing. Miss Toni E. Washington. She is the guru marketer. She, for me, is proof that I'm not the only person in the world starting over, and that it's okay to start from ground zero. It's going to be all right. So I love her for that. She's encouragement. Oh, and Miss Karen Tance. She is proof that love and friendship can grow even as far as Australia. And I love her dearly. We know each other from a long ways back. We have been connected before, and through Miss Susie and Miss Susie Perrette, Diane Morgan, and the Angel anthologies that we all did together with Miss Sunday Sturgeon and Teresa Halley Howard. And then there's Miss Marian Evans. Miss Marian Evans is grace. What can you say about her? She's beautiful. She's grace. She's faith. She's honest, and she's right there to tell you life is beautiful. And I love Miss Marian for that. She is the one that always keeps me seeking for grace. And her little thing on Facebook is It's a Dog's Life by Miss Isabella, a beautiful little dog that she has, Miss Isabella Griffin. And she is my grace and resilience. And then I saved Miss Teresa Halley Howard for last. And I saved Miss Howard for last because Miss Howard and I met back in 2015. And she was the beginning of my world opening up, and one of the main reasons I'm where I am today. She has been my mentor, my teacher, my sister, my everything in so many ways. There's not, I could say a million things about her and it would never be enough. I just love her with all my heart and soul, and anything I do, she's got to be a part of it for it to feel right. Absolutely. And that is my beautiful ladies in this book. And again, like I said, please reach out to them. Reach out to them, see what they do, look at the beauty they bring to the world and the healing that they bring to the world, because they are magnificent women, and I love them, everyone.
Oh, wow. How beautiful.
Thank you.
I know this is kind of on the fly, but do you have a piece from the book that you'd like to share with us?
A piece of poetry from the book? No, ma'am, I don't have anything in front of me at this moment. I don't even have my copy yet.
The hard copy, right?
Well, we're in paperback.
Right.
We decided to go paperback. I haven't decided yet to do hardback or not, but we did do Kindle and paperback for starters. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the co-authors as well on doing this accomplishment and putting their work out there and sharing it with the world.
Yes. Well, this was a dream for me. I dreamed about this years ago. In my first book we did together, not all of them in the poetry anthology joined me on the first anthology. My first release was September 2020. And I wrote with Miss Diane Morgan, and Miss Karen Tance joined me in that one as well.
Mhm.
Madeline DeGilio, Marion Evans, Mary Scully D, Rachel Polskin again, Susie Perrette, Teresa Halley Howard, and Mr. Wade Bloodgood. Now, there's another aspiring author that is absolutely amazing. You can find him at E.B. Lane Press bookstore. Mr. Wade, the Wade Bloodgood Factor, which is an amazing book. He is also a healer in sense, but he has an absolutely amazing story. He's incredible in many ways. But we did Spiritual Spectrums, Our Journey to the Light Within.
Mhm.
In the first book, we shared our stories. We shared our background, the struggles we come through, the things that we faced. And my second round was the poetry book, to be able to share healing after the fact. So
Mhm.
we have before and we have the after, so that they can mirror each other.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking at your, oops, I don't want to invite somebody. I want to share my screen. Hold on. You've got quite a collection of books that you've been part of here.
Yes, ma'am. My first, excuse me, my first publication was the Butterfly Flutters By. During that time, I was an in-home caretaker of my mother who had Alzheimer's and dementia. And I've always had a love for poetry. And before I started this great journey, I used to be a truck driver and heavy equipment operator. And
Wouldn't have guessed that. Well, hello.
yes. And when I wound up having to come off of the road and come home to be with Mom, and I just asked the Lord, I said, well, Lord, what am I going to do? This is what I know. This is what I have an education in. So what do I do from here? I can't be just a caretaker. I have to be more than that. Not that it wasn't enough. It was just that I've always been able to support myself, and I wanted to be able to continue to. Excuse me. This weather changing has got me. But I started writing at a little place called poetrysoup.com.
Mhm.
And eventually I had enough poems built up in there, and I had been featured quite a few times in there, which gave me the encouragement to step forward to self-publish. So I self-published alongside a publishing company, and needless to say, it didn't go very well.
Mhm.
The book made it up, but things just weren't on the up and up the way that it needed to be. So I took a major heartbreak there. But the book, let me get back to the main reason for the book. Excuse me. I wrote little short stories for Mama.
Mhm.
And as time passed and Mama slipped further into the Alzheimer's and dementia, I was able to respond back and forth with her through a form of childhood.
Mhm.
So I could hold her attention with silly little poems like the Fancy Nancy, the Little Pansy, um, Jenny, my darling, and different little stories like that because her name was Jenny. And I would write these little poems and then I would read them to her. And she would get such a kick out of it. And some of it was childhood stories I used to tell my brother and sister because I'm a military brat. My father was a 30-year Navy man. So we traveled a lot. We
Mhm.
spent a lot of time on the road with nothing to do but sit in the back seat of that car. So I would make up stories for my brother and sister to keep us entertained. So I brought it all together and put it in this book so that I could gift it to Mama.
Mhm.
And I had planned that everything made off of the book would help me to make sure she had everything she needed. And when that didn't go the way that it did, it should have, it broke my heart. And Mama passed long before I ever managed to ever get it straightened out, which left me quite heartbroken and bitter. And Teresa stepped in.
Mhm.
I met her online, met her on Facebook, and we got to talking, and she asked me, we got to talking about domestic violence.
Mhm.
And I have gone through domestic violence twice in my life. And we began to talk about that. And she began to talk about sharing your story and how to heal forward by sharing your story. And all these books that you just seen, they came from her encouragement, her inspiration, pushing me to educate myself, to step out there and boldly educate myself and not be unapologetically unapologetic and go for my dreams. And we started, my very first book with her was From Fear to Freedom, which was an amazing book. It's just gone all over the world in so many different ways. And then we wrote in Echoes in the Darkness. So from there, I have been a continued author in her cause and movement towards the ending domestic violence.
Right.
The beautiful book you see, Resilient, that's sitting there, that's Miss Kelly Fitzgerald of Beauty Press.
Oh.
And Miss Kelly Fitzgerald was also in my spiritual spectrums, I believe, and also my poetry book as well. Miss Kelly, that is another fantastic woman. If you get a chance to stop by and look at her beautiful books, Layla and the Elephants, it supports the extinction of the elephant, and it also supports children that are differently abled. She is just an incredible lady.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's where Miss Marion and I met. We met through the beautiful anthology, Resilient. We shared side by side in that one.
Fantastic. You've written quite a bit.
Yes, ma'am. I do a lot of that. I'm constantly writing.
I just have stacks of journals over here. That's all.
Well, that's where it all begins. That is where it all begins.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But no, ma'am, I owe it all to her. I believe now I've almost lost count. Humbly and respectfully, I say, I think I'm around probably number 16 book with Miss Teresa Halley Howard and Women on a Mission Enterprises.
Fantastic. I wrote a piece for one of Sunday Surgeon's surgeon book. So that's how I got my start and built my courage up to start writing and, wrote my first book. So I've worked actually 3 different times with Karen. So
got to love Miss Karen. That's just a bowl of honey there.
Oh my gosh, she's just like, she's really awesome to work with.
Yes, she is. She's loving and just peaceful, and she's just got one of the sweetest spirits. I find myself when I'm talking to her, I get lost in her sweetness and her kindness, her beautiful spirit.
Yeah, so anybody wants to get out there and start writing and doesn't want to take on a full book, doing an anthology, you can get a hold of me or Sharon, and we can connect you to the right people that, Sunday's, I guess she's putting out a couple new books here, and she's probably looking for some authors to be in the anthologies.
Absolutely. Miss Karen Tance from Healing Pen Publishing, Miss Teresa Halley Howard from Women on a Mission Enterprises, Miss Kelly Fitzgerald of Beauty Press. They're all incredible women. Miss Sunday Sturgeon, all of them are incredible women. Right. Absolutely. I got to write in her, Miss Sunday Sturgeon's Warrior Women with Angel Wings for the Soul was the one that I was able to write in, and I wrote the foreword for her men's Angel Wings book.
Oh, how cool.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoyed it, every bit of it.
What an honor. I got to pull out my book now. Hold on.
Yes.
I think this is it. Yeah, there's Sunday. Sunday's right there.
Yes, absolutely.
And so illuminate your joy.
Yes, that is a beautiful, beautiful. I believe Miss Susie Perrette was in that one with you too as well, wasn't she?
Um, I'm not sure. I know, was it this? No, we didn't. I wrote for another book. It's Signs and Synchronicities, and that was with Jill Ryan. And we did a collective book signing.
Yeah.
We all met up at the Barnes and Nobles, and we did co-author book signing, which was pretty awesome. Up in Rhode.
Because I do believe somewhere in there, in one of those anthologies, Miss Susie Perrette and Miss Diane Morgan was amongst some of the ladies that wrote in the Angel anthologies. I believe, yeah, from the International Angels Network.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Claudia Ibera's International Angels Network. I believe Miss Susie Perrette and Miss Diane Morgan were angel talkers. Yes.
Susie's in this, yes.
Yes, Miss Susie Perrette. I thought so because Miss Susie is also in my spiritual spectrums, and when I spotlighted her in a magazine, I remember seeing that cover. So,
well, there you go.
Yes, that's a beautiful book, by the way. Congratulations. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I need to get my other book done or other books done. So
yes, because I want to read one.
Well, that's for the makings out there. All out there. This is all the garbage I know about so far. And I thought it was done, and it's like, oh wait, Julie, there's a whole bunch of stuff you don't know about yourself. Hold on.
That's right.
You got this other book to write.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I want to encourage our viewers to write.
Absolutely.
Or create.
Yeah, be courageous. Step out there and just do it. Right now, edit later. Don't worry about it. That's what editors are for. If you don't want to edit, don't worry about it. There's editors out there that'll edit for you. Just write. Open your heart and just let it pour, and just share it with the world. Whatever your story is, good, bad, or indifferent. Somebody is out there in this world that you're going to touch, and you're going to change your life with your story. We don't realize how much we impact another human being when we share our stories. And I say that because I have been impacted so many times, even with me being an author and a co-author. I am still an avid reader. And I get so emotionally touched, and my life gets so enriched by, it might be the same thing somebody else said, but they said it differently, which allowed me to have that different point of view, that different vision, and that different thought that changed my life forever. And that's what's important. That's what matters. When we love and we heal others and we do for others, it comes back in sevenfolds. And our life becomes even more beautiful.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have another book planned?
Well, there is always something new coming out. I know right now through Women on Admissions, we have Breaking the Code of Silence. It's out there right now. We have Women of Inspiration that's out there right now. We have Blessed by Grace. Oh my goodness, there are so many that are out there.
Are these on your Amazon page?
Yes, you can find these on my author page as well as Teresa Halley Howard's author page. I'm going to look here. I'm going to cheat just a little bit for a moment.
Okay.
We just had Paw Prints on My Heart that came out. That's an anthology. It's even got a couple children. My granddaughter wrote in this book, and Miss Teresa Halley Howard's granddaughter wrote in this book. So that was a blessing for the both of us. We really loved and enjoyed being able to share stories alongside them. Movers and Shakers just come out, which I believe Miss Karen Tance is also a part of. It bestseller. These women are kicking it. I'm telling you, they're fantastic. There's just so many, sweetheart. that is out there. You just have to grab one of the pages, go to it, and all the new ones are up on top and listed at the top. And if you don't like any of them, I promise you there's enough of them there that you'll find something you love. His grace is sufficient, unbreakable. I matter. I am worthy. I am beautiful. We also had 3 Ps. That's there, which is an amazing entrepreneurial book. It has some fantastic entrepreneurial tips and guidelines that are in there that are just fabulous.
You've got a ton of books up here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we write constantly. The 3 Ps is purpose, passion, and profit for your business. That's another Women on a Mission Enterprises
Right here.
publication. But yes, ma'am, there's quite a few sitting in there. Heartfelt Business Lessons is our newest entrepreneurial anthology that's out through Women on a Mission. I'm in there with Teresa there, along with some other amazing, fantastic co-authors. But yes, ma'am, 2015 come, I met Teresa, and the rest is history.
Wow.
I've spent 4 years in school. 2018, I got my life coaching license, or my minister license, I'm sorry. And 2019, I pulled off my life coaching license. In between, I went to editing school, creative writing school, energy healing school, marketing school.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing about it is the education was free.
Oh, wow.
If you're willing and you want it bad enough, all you got to do is Google it. It's out there. It's free. Educate yourself. Now, my life coaching, I did pay for my life coaching, and I did pay for my ministers, but nowhere near what you would pay if you tried to go through a major college. But there are programs out there. You can reach out to Miss Claudia Ibarra through International Angels Network, and she is connected to quite a long list of amazing people that can get you an education in many different fields for a very affordable price. So don't give up on yourself. If you really want to do something, go for it. It's out there. All you got to do is have the courage to take it and run with it. I'm proof of that.
So,
yeah.
What was behind all of this education and writing, like this emerging, like since 2015? What's behind that? What happened in your life that just made you reach out and do all of these things? Were you always like this?
I think I've always been this way. It just wasn't always awake. For the longest time, I spent my time in life feeling like a victim. I never really realized how victorious I truly am through Jesus Christ, and how powerful the human spirit can be when you are motivated out of love. Sometimes in life, in our families, and in our world, we want to change a legacy. Things have always just continued to repeat itself, and that bad history just keeps coming at you. And, it was the same thing for my dad and my dad's dad. No, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I got tired of not having a voice. And when I realized I had one, through the love and care of Teresa Howey Howard, helping me find that voice, I began to understand that I can change this. And there's nothing that can stop me if I really, truly want this. And girl, I just made one step forward, and the rest of them fell into place. God moved me right where he wanted me to be. I truly believe with all my heart, no matter what you believe in, who you believe in, I have no prejudice against anyone's beliefs. I don't. But for myself personally, without the Lord Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be here. 2 years before my mother passed away, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had to make a conscious choice at that moment. That changed my entire world because I knew the only thing that stood between Mama being took care of the way that I promised my dad that I would do was me. And I had to get my head straight. It was not time for this. It was time to do what I was called to do and what I was asked to do. And I made that choice. But I truly believe through the Lord Jesus Christ, if you put him before anything you do, you are victorious. You've already have everything you ever need in your life. It was paid for. It's already been paid for. And we are the inheritors of what has already been given. All we have to do is have the courage to step up and accept what is rightfully ours. And I just believe that. My every morning starts with him. My every night ends with him. And everything I do, I talk to him before I ever do it. Absolutely. I wouldn't be here without him. Why wouldn't I?
Right, right.
You know, I am flourishing. I'm healthy. I'm successful in many ways. And I, again, humbly, I say that. But I have him to thank. I have my family for great support to thank. The beautiful women in my life to thank. Because they're the inspiration behind me. They push and they're there and they support. And it makes a difference in your life when you find your tribe and you get where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, let's go back to 2015. And what was your mindset and writing and putting all of this out there? I mean, you've got a laundry list of books you've been part of.
Yes.
You know?
The biggest majority of them is about domestic violence. And what I had a long, turbulent relationship with my mother. And this is a lot of reasons why I talked about her so much, because her and I had quite the journey together. In my younger life, my mother went through a hysterectomy, and it just completely took my loving mother and replaced her with somebody else. And by the time I had reached 13, going on 14 years old, she was done. My sister had been diagnosed with childhood brain cancer. She had a 3 centimeter mass tumor on her brain. And that sent my mother even farther out in left field. And her mind was on her and her alone. And see, these are things I didn't understand. Being a young child myself, I didn't understand this the way that I understand it now. But I wound up being a young teenage bride because things just kind of fell out that I couldn't be at home anymore. And someone 11 years older than I stepped up and agreed to take that position because they needed a babysitter. Well, that turned into a marriage. And from there, a turbulent, horrific domestic violence experience for me for 7.5 years. And so writing in these anthologies allowed me to share these stories. It also allowed me to grow as a person, to review my story so that when I told my story, it wasn't the story of a victim. It was actually the truth for what it truly was. It took me from sharing my story as that victim, telling my story of being a survivor by coming out of it, to today being a thriver and looking at it different. Domestic violence is domestic violence. It's wrong. There's no other way to look at it.
Right.
But all of the little things in between, before and after and around, changed my story. It wasn't as horrific as it was at 13 and 14 years old trying to understand it. At the age of 40, going into 50, and being that woman caring for that mother that wasn't there for you. lots of emotions, lots of things through there. It was such a transitional time for me in my life, but gracefully we both come out into the end to being not only mother and daughter again, but best friends, trusted friends, because when you're somebody's caretaker, you share the most intimate and personal parts of their lives with them. And then on another side, you're the caretaker that never gets no rest and sleep, and you're always trying to separate your identity from them. And then you find yourself where you're the person standing on the outside watching a woman lose everything, to going from a daughter to that irritating daughter that won't stop asking you if you're okay, to being called mama, and putting that reverse pair of shoes on. It humbled me in so many ways. And I think, and when I lost mama, I took a 2-year hiatus. It took me 2 years to center myself again, because I had to learn that respectfully I was free. I didn't have that 3 o'clock in the morning call. I didn't have that fear. Is she safe? Is she sleeping? Is she okay? Do I need to be in there? My life was get back to me. And at that point in time, I said, okay, God, I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to love forward in faith. I'm going to love forward in faith that all of this was for a reason, and I thank you for it, and I love you for it. Thank you for giving my mother back to me. Thank you for giving me a beautiful friend and beautiful memories, even in the hurt. And that's the way we roll, baby. That's how we've been going from ever since then. I get up every morning and I thank him, and I just keep moving forward.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a touching story. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's these gray hairs are here for a reason, my love. And I love them, every one.
And and being I don't call him a caretaker because you're a caregiver. You give the care. A caretaker sounds like you're taking him off to the morgue or something.
Well, I was a caretaker. I cleaned, I cooked, I washed clothes, I put on the Band-Aids, I brushed the hair, I even took out the false teeth and brushed them.
Oh,
Make
good.
sure they were pretty and shiny and clean and give them back to her. Absolutely.
The whole role reversal is very something else. I did care for my grandparents, not hands-on like you, but it took its toll. And yeah, I got arthritis.
It is I give kudos. I give so much love and just grace and honor to those that step in and do that. You never really understand when a person tells you, I've been a caregiver or a caretaker. You, unless you've been there, it's kind of hard to understand why you see that look on that person's face when they say that to you, because it's a life-altering thing. It really is.
It's a thankless job too, almost like being a parent.
I've had forks thrown at me. I've had pillows thrown at me. I have had dinner I cooked thrown back in the floor at me. I have been called everything but a puppy dog. But, it ain't nothing that soap and water don't wash off. And a little bit of gray.
Well, good. Like, what?
Yes.
Oh, boy. And with my grandparents, and it sounds like your mother has dementia, Alzheimer's, they had dementia. I mean, and it's really hard to, if you've never been in that situation, to go, oh my God, they're losing their mind and this, what's going on?
The same question 15,000 times in a run of a day, in a run of a half an hour.
Minutes.
Absolutely. And why? I think that's payback for when we're children. And every time mom and dad would say something, we'd always go, why? Well, I got that back. Full force. Absolutely. And, I don't know. They always say that you get back what you give your parents. But I always thought that I was a good child. So I was kind of stumbled there for a little while. But then again, as I got older and this side of life, I'm like, well, I could have spent more time being there for her. I could have tried being the friend that she needed more instead of worrying about my 20-year-old life and all the things that were going on in my world. Maybe if I had tried to spend more time with her, we could have cut this void a long time ago. But it was just so sore and so raw and so deep that we could never get past that headbutting.
Right.
Because with her, she wasn't ready to accept the decision she made. I wasn't willing to accept the apology. I wanted her to know that what she done was wrong and what I had been through in my life because of it. And then before I lost her, it was more about that was then and this is now. What am I doing? It doesn't matter anymore. What does that matter now? Because look at where we are now. So I tried to take those last years together, and we had 7 years together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were together 7 years. But I watched her lose her daughter. My sister passed away at 34 of brain cancer. She eventually lost her battle to it. I watched her lose her husband. I watched her try to move on and have a relationship elsewhere, and he wound up passing away on her too. And then on top of 17 years of working, 17 and a half years, she was a floor installer. She laid carpet and vinyl and tile. Why this woman wanted to do it, don't ask me. But that's what she wanted to do.
Well, you were a truck driver.
She retired. She was 72 years old before she retired. How can you not respect that kind of
tenacity there?
Absolutely, absolutely. My mother was a hardworking woman.
That's work. I mean, you're down on your knees, your back. Oh my, 72. Dang.
Yeah. And then you're told that you have Alzheimer's and dementia. You can't work anymore. You can't drive. They take your license. I mean,
right. Or in my case, I had to take the license and the credit card. Good God. And
I hear you, girl.
Good God.
Yeah. But it was a lot for her. And in all that I've been through in my life, I look at my mother and I go, she's been through a lot too. And I think we as women, we take on the major roles of life. We are the caregivers, the lovers, the friends, the mother, the grandmother, the dishwasher, the housekeeper, the meal cooker, the entrepreneur. Kind of reminds me of that commercial we used to hear years ago. I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan kind of type commercial thing. It's probably a poor example, but
damn. So domestic engineer or domestic goddess, is that?
Girl, I'm telling you, we do it all. And at the end of the day, I don't think we really respect ourselves enough of what we do. Right. We don't pat ourselves on the back enough. We don't self-love ourselves enough to that core level, to the point of saying it's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to not do this. And because everything happens in God's timing, not ours.
Right.
The universe already has it planned. All we got to do is show up and be there.
We do have to do our work, though. That's what I'm being told.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to show up. We got to be there. We got to be present in what we do. But at the same time, there's got to be time for self-love. So
Self-care.
self-recognition. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I think I learned for myself in 2020. I had time to be away from the world, even if it was through the COVID-19 Act. I
Mhm.
had that time away so I could say, you know what, it's time to do some self-reflection. And before we touch 2021, let's make sure everything in 2020 stays there. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. Wow. Is there anything else that you'd like? We've got about 10 minutes left, and I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to share with my audience, the viewers.
Uh, I do um, a weekly podcast where I talk about self-love, self-reflection, meditations. I place meditations there. If you're looking to ground and balance, you can find my meditations at anchor.fm or on spotify.com. I also share my knowledge of metaphysics, spiritual healing. I also have a brand new 30-day transformational program I just wrote that's out, that is available for a very minimal price, very affordable price, so that you can obtain whatever knowledge you want or need that I can help you with. It also has a journal that comes alongside of it, so you can write and keep notes along as we go through the 4-week process. Uh, let me think. There's so many things. The new magazine will be coming out in the end of January, issue 2.
Right.
Beauty of magazine will be out by the end of January. A shout out to Teresa Halley Howard. I'd like to say congratulations to her for making her 5-year mark on business excellence. We got to celebrate in volume 1 of Be Of magazine, which I'm so very proud of. It's absolutely beautiful. All of her courageous and wonderful things that she does for women every day and people every day. I'd like to say reach out to her. She supports so many, from retirement homes to children's homes to the homeless,
Mm.
domestic violence, women and children in shelters, and get into some of her little programs and try and help support anywhere you can. There's so many people needing love.
Mhm.
And I think a big thank you to Miss Karen Tance for introducing me to you.
Well,
Uh, so I have a new wonderful and beautiful friend I'm very proud of. And I look forward to seeing all of your beautiful books and works that I know that are coming out here soon.
thank
I'm going to keep on you so I can get one.
We'll exchange addresses and we'll here.
Yes, that sounds amazing. The only other thing I can do or say at this moment would be thank you, God. Thank you
Right.
for everything in my life. Absolutely. And everyone.
Have gratitude, everyone, and you'll be blessed.
Yes.
Um, since we have a few minutes left, you talked about discussing metaphysical things. What kind of metaphysical topics do you cover on your podcast?
Well, we talk about emerging science, medicine, and spirituality, and how they come into contrast with each other and work with each other. The conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the physical body, how they relate to one another and work with each other. Sometimes in our minds, when we tell ourselves, no, I'm not doing that, the subconscious mind kind of steps in and it nags at you, and you can't understand why it's nagging at you or why you're feeling bad or something. So you ignore it and it goes on, and we begin to physically feel it. and our bodies start giving us signals.
Mhm.
And I help you to notice those triggers and notice those connections with each other and help you locate what it is that's going on so we can address it mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Mm. The emotional connection to the body. Yeah.
Yes. Because, a lot of times the subconscious mind, it's back there going, you're being stubborn.
Yeah.
And I know you said no, but you have to understand that this needs to transpire or come into to manifestation so that we can move forward in mind and body and spirit. And it's like a toothache. If we have a toothache and we ignore that toothache and we say, I'm not going to the dentist, I'm afraid of the dentist, I'm not going to go. And there's a beautiful friend of mine sitting out there tonight that needs prayer. I'd like for everyone to remember Miss Rachel Polskin in your prayers this evening. She's got some major healing that needs to take place, and she'll be going into surgery Friday. So please remember to add her to your prayer list. I thank you for that. But when we ignore things like that, our mind, our conscious mind allows us to forget it, and we go on through our day and we suffer with it and just ignore it. The subconscious mind starts making you feel bad about yourself. I'm not doing what I need to be doing. I'm not achieving what I need to be achieving. And we don't understand why we're feeling this way. Well, it's because you're ignoring your body.
Right.
You're ignoring the temple that houses your spirit needs repairs. If you ignore that shingle on that roof, you're going to wind up with a leak. Same concept, right?
Right.
So we have to learn to distinguish between the conscious thought, the subconscious emotions and movements and notifications that we receive, and our body giving us the signals that we receive. There's where the metaphysicality pulls into place, where you're bringing all the different things into one place and using it as that tool that you're gifted with. We already have this knowledge. We just have to be conscious with it and learn what those triggers are. Find those triggers, hear those subliminal messages, go to that area that needs healing and love it. Put that energy into healing that, everything else falls into place.
Exactly. And you'll get over your fear of going to the dentist.
Absolutely. If you face your fears, you become the victor of it. It's no longer a fear. You're absolutely right. But we also heal and grow spiritually, and we become mentally and spiritually stronger. And that allows us that when we come across somebody else that needs that energy healing, we already obtain that energy. And then we learn how to take that energy from ourselves and push it into someone else to help heal them.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. And that's where the hands of healing that I so love, that I talk about. I get fired up when I get talking about this. I get all energetic and ready to go.
I know. Christian was talking about that earlier. I mean, we were talking about, like, when you go to work on somebody, and you're done healing them, and you're like all pumped up, and it's like, what's next? What do now? Because you get a high from it. You really kind of do, from doing this work.
Absolutely. I go into meditation afterwards. I immediately go into meditation. I go into prayer, because just sometimes when we touch and heal others, we can pick up energies that we carry with us. So I like to cleanse. One of the first things I do is I love to cleanse. I start grounding and I start praying and asking for what needs to be released so that I can continue to move forward. So I have to. If not, I'll bounce off the walls.
and another thing, as a healer, blessings come to your clients or whoever you're working with, and you get blessed as well. They learn something as well as you through that session or time spent with them, and
through universal love.
It's interesting because I always learn something new when I work with a client, whatever it might be. you know.
Yes.
So,
Yes, absolutely. And I think I love my older clients most of all, which I mean, I love everybody, but I love them because they're storytellers.
they've got time on us.
Yes, they have some of the most amazing stories. You meet such incredible people in this world. You would never believe. You could be standing right next to somebody in a grocery store that could have been anywhere in life, and they're in stories so incredible, and you never know unless you speak. You know, I think today we don't spend enough time looking at each other and looking into each other's eyes and seeing each other's story and each other's soul and each other's heart and being real with each other. Everybody's in such a hurry and s- caught up in fear of what's going on around us right now. And, you know, now's not the time for that. Now's the time to be positioned. Now's the time to get yourself in position and stand strong and know where you stand, because the days are coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're coming. That's all I'm going to say. But the days are coming. You better know where you stand.
Yep.
So love while you can. Reach out while you can. Get to know somebody standing next to you. It don't hurt to say, hi, how are you doing today?
Exactly.
It don't hurt. It don't hurt. It don't hurt to find that woman standing out there in Walmart somewhere, staring off into the sky. Just walk up to her and tell her, you know what, the Lord asked me to hug you and pray for you today.
Mm-hmm.
And just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have fear, because when you're working in the light, you're protected. Now, I'm not going to tell you don't wear your mask. I'm not going to tell you don't protect your. I'm not going to say any of those things to you. But I am going to tell you that if you have a courageous spirit and you want to reach out and hug somebody, you look at them and ask them, can I give you a hug? And if they say yes, get you some love.
Yeah.
Give some love, because the times and the days are coming that I just don't see a lot of that happening much anymore. Not if we continue down the roads that we've been going.
Right.
Yeah.
I think coming out of this COVID, towards the end of it, I think we will probably see more hugging going on. It's kind of funny. I watch TV now, and I'm like, oh, hugging. This is like, we got to watch the TV. It's sitcom.
But yes, I am hopeful for that. I truly am. I mean, even with the way that I feel and see things sometimes, I truly am hopeful for that opening for 2021 for us. Absolutely. It'd be a love fest.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I want to thank you for being here tonight and sharing so much of yourself and sharing the beauty of poetry and prose and all of the co-authors that you spoke of tonight. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Well, thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity and for enjoying my long-windedness and my open opinions.
I love it. Thank you. I want to thank our viewers tonight and future viewers for watching. This is Spiritual Alchemy Energy with Julie. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check me out at julianneguthrie-smulson.com. You can find out all about me. And we got to plug Sharon. You can find Sharon on Twitter. You can find her on Facebook, Beautiful Expectations of Faith, and on Twitter at Greenly Gulley.
Absolutely. You're the only one that's ever done that right.
Check her out on Amazon, on her podcast, on Spotify, and her new magazine, the second one's coming out the end of this month. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you.